Taking depression seriously. There's two sides of taking depression seriously. There's one side where a person feels that they don't need to help or look into their family member or friend being depressed because they feel that it's a phase that they're going through. And then there's the other side where the person will actually go into detail and looking on how to help this person who's depressed and things that they need to do. There's 5 different types of depression. And keep in mind, depression, there is no cure for it, but there is a way to stabilize it and calm it down for the time being. The 5 different depressions are seasonal affective disorder, which is a seasonal depression that typically starts in late fall and early winter. This typically comes when somebody goes through a hard event in their life, losing a loved one or losing a very important job to them, and they put them at their lowest point. Then there's the bipolar depression, and this is when a person experiences heavy mood swings, and it'll come one day they're happy and active, and then the next day the person doesn't want to talk or leave out of their house. Then there's the postpartum depression. And this comes with pregnant women after they give birth. They feel sadness, indifference, exhaustion, and anxiety. And then there's a persistent depression disorder. This is a long-term depression that after a while they'll be at their lowest point and they really will shut down altogether. This is one of the harder disorders to come out of. It takes a lot more time for somebody to recover from this, and some people definitely have not recovered from it at all. And then the most harmful depression that there is psychotic depression. This is when a person experiences hallucinations, they see things that aren't there and that they feel are there, and there's no talking them out of it being there. And if it gets too bad, a person could commit suicide out of all of these hallucinations. Typically, people who don't really take depression serious, they don't think about all 5 of those different depressions because they don't go through those in life. They might see somebody else, but they have the mindset, well, that's not me, I don't need to take care of them. When somebody is depressed, they will have certain signs. They don't want to talk, they don't want to be around people, they don't want to leave their house, they're not active, they're not how they were the day before. If this goes on for about a good 2 weeks, that's when you definitely know that you need to call somebody and that person may be depressed. Now, it says that you should wait about 2 weeks because a person might just be having a bad day, having a bad week, but for 2 weeks of having the same experiences, it starts to get tough and you have to step in. There are people that believe that not taking advantage of helping somebody who is depressed they feel that it's not a bad thing. And to some people that is a terrible thing because what could happen in the future to that person that's depressed. Some people have gotten over depression a lot easier than others, and everybody's different. And that's why the side that doesn't believe that taking it seriously is a big deal. It's 2 sides of a coin. Whichever side that you choose is the side that you have to deal with and deal with the future of. Somebody who's depressed, it takes full support of friends and family and their loved ones to help them. Never assume that somebody isn't depressed. Even though if you believe that they'll get over it, don't assume. Just don't assume that they're not depressed because they might end up being depressed, and that whole time you assuming that they're not, they really might have needed your help that whole time. Not all depression leads to death, or physical damage, but it does take a mental toll on a lot of people. And like I said earlier, depression can be treated, but it can't be cured.